Hey, how's it going, guys? This is your boy Hazzed, and today on the Battle for Azeroth beta, I'm going to be discussing which alt I plan on playing in the next expansion. I'm going to go ahead and give my reasons why.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
He's waiting behind there. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. What'd he buggle? He buggled! He buggled! Oop, drop aggro. Get him, boy! Men pet, he's trying to focus my pet. Get him, boy! Ooh, 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 ooh. We're gonna use lust. Goodbye. I didn't want to use turtle shell there. Interrupting. Come on, turtle shell. I clicked you off. Ooh, 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 ooh. He used his immobilization. Oh, come on. I feigned death that stun. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Ooh, gotcha. Gotcha. his immobilization. Oh, come on. I feigned death that stun. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me.
But it's alright, 'cause right now we're frozen. I wanna forget mistakes that helped me make. It's better to be broken than to break.
So over the past few days, I've been kind of testing out different classes and trying to see exactly where I want to go with playing an alt. And I kind of had to think about it a lot. And of course, world PvP and things along those lines had a lot to influence what I was going to do. So I kind of started thinking about it. I wanted some class that had a stealth. So I could, stealth into fighting or stealth into main cities and gank people fairly easily without having to worry about too many guards, or of course if too many people group up, I have a way in or out of said fight. And now I had to think about that a little bit. That leaves me with, a few choices at that point. I could either choose a rogue, which I'm not very great at playing a rogue personally. I don't really enjoy playing a rogue too much. And a druid, which I did play a druid already for an expansion back in the day, which is probably where I ended up learning most of my kiting from. But overall, I was kind of left with a choice between rogue, druid, or hunter. It was pretty obvious at that point what I wanted to play, one of the three, and obviously because I'm playing hunter right now, that's what I've chosen. Now I don't know if I want to main marksman yet or I want to main BM. Obviously BM's going to be the better spec for 1v1 situations. As I said, PvP definitely influences my choice. And marksman's going to give you kind of the best opener burst damage, but overall consistency at the moment obviously relies into BM. So it's kind of a hard choice to make, but overall for questing in world PvP, BM's going to be the way to go. As you saw in that opening clip, a 113 killing a 120, how does that happen? And this was kind of one of the things that really influenced my decision on this, and I believe rogues are capable of it too, and probably a good feral druids could pull it off too. But when it comes to hunters taking on let's say 120s when they're lower level, the reason they can deal so much damage to them or 1v1 them is simply the mechanical CC and the mobility that hunters have to get away from their targets. Because if somebody has a much larger health pool than you on a hunter, and you're still doing 2 to 3k DPS, but you're not allowing him to get full uptime on you, even an undergeared hunter can win a 1v1 fight against a 120, just like you saw in that video. As long as you control the situation and don't allow him to sit on you and burst you down, it's pretty easy to get off. And kind of like I just said with rogues do roughly around the same thing, where they open up on a target, apply their dots with mutilate, and then again re-stealth after that, and then reopen, re-stealth, throw the dots on, reopen, re-stealth, over and over again until finally they die, or you put enough pressure on them, or they just inevitably get tired of it and run away at some point back to their main city. Which is what happened with a lot of 120s that I came across, is a lot of them didn't want to initiate the fight. Now, I don't know if that was specifically because I was a hunter or if it was because I was low level. I'm not really sure which, but they did gank a few people standing around in quest zones, so I didn't really feel too bad about chasing around these 120s and trying to get some 1v1s in. A lot of the times when I was trying to do that, obviously they got jumped by a lot of people or multiple people. Oh, he's in the down. Now I'd feel bad about chasing around 120s, but I did see them ganking lobies that were standing in quest areas, and they deserved it. They deserved it. They were being butt heads to a bunch of low level people questing. Now, remember I made a video a little quite a ways back, and people were trying to give me crap about ganking lobies on a 120, which obviously, if the 120's got the opener, he should win. Like, you should win on a 120 if you got the opener, or if you simply counter burst correctly, you probably won't have much of a problem either. But as you obviously just saw, if you give that low level character even the slightest amount of leeway, it's gonna cost you your character's life. You're gonna be sent to the graveyard, and then you got to run back to your body, which, you know, your overall idea or you know, how good you feel about the game might be affected once you get killed by too many lobby players, but we'll have to see on that. But the reason why I want to play this class, obviously, is I want a class that I can gank people, like I said, with stealth, and I want a class that I could 1v1 people on. And at the moment, with the current build for Frost DKs, it's not gonna be great. I'm hoping they make more changes soon. They said they were making changes, but I'm not sure exactly what they are planning on doing for those changes, and obviously nobody else does. So it could either end up being really great, or it could end up being really horrible. I mean, they've made a couple damage percentage changes, they switched around a few talents, but that's all we've seen from Frost currently. So I really need a class that I can 1v1 on in world PvP and really enjoy myself, because obviously in that clip it was pretty apparent in the opener clip that I was enjoying myself. I haven't laughed that hard the entire battle for Azeroth playing a Frost DK or Unholy DK, because it's just not that fun. Like, the mechanical stability of Unholy is pretty good, but overall trying to gank somebody like that in a main city as Unholy, not the funnest thing to try and do. And not the easiest thing to do either. Those guards hit really hard, but on, let's say, a hunter where I've got a little bit more CC, I can trap them, I can hold them still, I can still hit things from range. It gives you a little bit more leeway to be a little bit more creative about how you go about ganking people or doing world PvP battles or situations. And obviously just the mechanical strength of being able to kite people is something I've always enjoyed, something I've enjoyed a lot, and it's something they took away from DKs in the past. So we can't do that now. We used to spam chains, we used to use Death Siphon, we used to stun at range. There was a bunch of little tricks you could do involving a few abilities that really made DKs all around fun to play, and gave a certain skill cap to Frost DKs. And once they took that away and kind of made Frost DKs a one-track mind with just damage, 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 melee, heal, damage, 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 to me it wasn't nearly as enjoyable. So kind of this alt in this class is mainly going to be for my, I guess you could say, world PvP enjoyment. that Frosty K no longer can deal. I'm sorry, but I'm still going to play Frosty K, obviously. I'm still going to PvE on him. Still going to do some rated PvP on him. Still going to do the normal stuff that I do on a Frosty K. But I just don't feel like it's what I want to play to enjoy myself anymore. And it's kind of hard to say, but World PvP on a Frosty K, to me, entire Legion, I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy it at all. If I got onto PvP, it was to either make a video or discuss something. I just did not enjoy it. I don't know what else to say. It wasn't enjoyable. It was not fun to me. Going out and just being this one gear class that just healed at melee range, it was bad. It was terrible. I don't know what the heck they were thinking, to tell you the truth. It was not great, and that's why I'm gonna be choosing to play a hunter as my alternate class. To give another reason why I'm going to choose to play a hunter as an alternate class is just the fact that it's a range class. Between druids, which my only choice would be to play Boomy, and of course rogues, they're not a range class, they're a melee class. And of course my main's Frosty K, so I wanted to play a secondary range class. And the fact that Battle for Azeroth dungeons and the majority of the raid that I've tested really seem to give range DPS a lot more leeway to deal damage and keep consistent damage in comparison to some of the mechanics as melee DPS. And even some of the bosses currently in mythic mode require 2 range DPS, otherwise that boss is going to be so ridiculously hard that it's almost undoable unless you have pretty insane DPS. And I'll use let's see, the dungeon as an example. Altal Dazar and Yasma. This guy right here, this little dude right here, affects a person with Soul Rend, which spawns a little soul that pops out and walks towards the boss. Once it reaches the boss, it deals quite a bit of AoE damage to the entire group. Now, if you've got 2 range that are already out at range, easily stacking up to destroy their spirits, those are level capped. Don't want to touch those. It becomes pretty simple to do, and of course, if your melee's getting back there in time, it won't be very hard. But once you're actually taking 2 melee and running it back there, the amount of DPS loss you are losing in comparison to having 2 range that can DPS the entire time is, it almost feels astronomical. Like it's so much that so many spiders during the fight start spawning that you inevitably just die to spiders. And that's something I've ran into even on my DK. Even though I'm overgeared on my unholy DK, it can still end up being a DPS problem just because the melees barely have any uptime on the boss. And so that's kind of the other reason I want to roll a ranged class. So hunter just kind of fell into place. I'm pretty experienced on a hunter. I do enjoy playing one. I love kiting. So it really just kind of ended up being the perfect class for me to pick for this situation. And you know, being really strong is in 1v1 situations in world PvP definitely helps out the fact. And secretly I've always wanted to play a hunter quite a bit. I've always loved the idea of marksman, and if you notice, I'm an undead. Now if I have a choice of what kind of hunter I can be, obviously within Battle for Azeroth. Now, for starters, I'll probably start him off as undead just to level him up and get ready. And as soon as we can make like the Zandalari trolls, I'll probably be a Zandalari hunter, inevitably. Always wanted to be a Zandalari, and just the fact that Death Knights can't be Zandalari is very frustrating to me, which I believe personally that they should be able to, because if you go up an Ice Crown, there's a certain kind of troll called Ice Trolls that are literally the same body type as Zandalaris that can be Death Knights. There are dungeons literally where there are Ice Trolls working for the Lich King, which are just frozen buff trolls, you know, Zandalari Ice Trolls, and they work for the Lich King, and the Lich King grants them power. Their eyes glow just like you know, Death Knights do. Obviously they were raised as Death Knights or the undead at that point, so I mean the jump really wouldn't be too far in comparison to like Northrend. And the fact that they said they don't believe that they're gonna make them Death Knights was pretty depressing to me. I'm like, really? Like the one thing I've wanted since the beginning of the game? And no, not the beginning of the game, but a little further ahead, obviously, for a very long time. I'd say probably Wrath of the Lich King, roughly around there. First started playing a DK and then started thinking about if I could choose any class in the game. Yeah, any race in the game, it would definitely be Buff Troll. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like down below if you did, and comment if you have any questions about hunters or any other classes we got going on in Battle for Azeroth at the moment. And subscribe if you want some more future Frost DK, and Hunter content. And also, of course, playing this alt or playing a Hunter, I'm also going to be planning on making more Hunter PvP content. And, of course, maybe doing some more 1v1 stuff and dueling on him, since it is a bit more optional on this class than it is on a Frost DK currently. So until next time, this was your boy Hazzed.